Welcome to Celebrity Reports, the place where we dive deep into the fascinating world of celebrities and uncover the stories behind the headlines. Today, we explore a tale that has intrigued entertainment historians and conspiracy enthusiasts alike: the mysterious involvement of the FBI in the sudden end of one of television's most iconic programs, The Ed Sullivan Show. While millions of viewers fondly remember Ed Sullivan's poised introductions, groundbreaking performances, and the way he became the gatekeeper of American pop culture, few know about the strange sequence of events that allegedly led to the show's quiet but calculated takedown. According to fictional accounts whispered through old Hollywood corridors, the FBI's interest in the Ed Sullivan Show began not because of any wrongdoing on Sullivan's part, but because of the sheer power and influence the program wielded. In its prime, the show reached an estimated 50 million viewers, a staggering portion of the country's population at the time. Sullivan could make an unknown act into an overnight sensation simply by booking them. This level of cultural sway reportedly raised eyebrows in certain government circles, which feared that such influence could be used for purposes beyond entertainment. One theory claims that the FBI had informants embedded in the television industry during the 1960s, quietly tracking which shows were shaping public opinion most effectively. Sullivan's program stood at the very top of that list. From rock and roll's most controversial early moments to socially conscious comedy sketches that challenged the status quo, the show had a knack for pushing boundaries. Certain fictionalized accounts suggest that some agents grew uneasy with Sullivan's willingness to give airtime to performers whose messages hinted at political undertones. The turning point, according to these imagined sources, came in the late 1960s when Sullivan allegedly booked a musical guest whose lyrics, though subtle, were interpreted by federal analysts as promoting ideas they considered subversive. While the performance seemed harmless to viewers, it apparently set off a flurry of internal memos within government agencies. The claim goes that the FBI began monitoring Sullivan's bookings more closely, reviewing rehearsal footage, and keeping track of which stars he intended to introduce to America next. In this fictional version of history, it wasn't just the guests that caught the agency's attention. Sullivan's off-air interactions were said to be unusually international for a network host of his era. He frequently mingled with diplomats, foreign entertainers, and visiting dignitaries. While most of these encounters were innocent, some were reportedly enough to prompt questions from certain officials about whether the show could be used, even unintentionally, as a platform for foreign influence in American homes. The so-called final straw is said to have come during a behind-the-scenes incident never reported in the press. In this account, Sullivan allegedly refused a private request from a certain high-ranking official to remove a guest from the lineup. The guest in question had a reputation for making subtle social commentaries through their art, which some believed could stir public debate on sensitive issues. Sullivan, valuing artistic freedom and the integrity of his program, stood firm. Within months, rumors began circulating that network executives were receiving pressure to restructure their primetime offerings, a move that conveniently resulted in the Ed Sullivan Show being cancelled under the guise of shifting audience tastes. The official explanation at the time was simple: television was changing, variety shows were losing viewers, and the network wanted to pursue new formats. Yet, according to this fictional account, the real story was far more complex. The end of the show, while not overtly labeled as government interference, bore the quiet fingerprints of strategic influence. In the years following, Sullivan remained publicly gracious about the show's ending, never openly speaking of any behind-the-scenes conflicts. But some crew members, decades later, claimed to remember unusual visits from unfamiliar men in suits who never gave their names, as well as unexplained edits to show archives. Whether one believes these fictionalized claims or not, they add a layer of intrigue to the already legendary history of the Ed Sullivan Show. It wasn't just a stage for the Beatles, Elvis Presley, or countless rising stars. It was, for a time, one of the most powerful cultural platforms in America. And in this imagined retelling, it was that very power that quietly drew the watchful eye of the FBI, ultimately leading to one of the most subtle takedowns in entertainment history. Even today, the idea sparks curiosity. Was it simply television's evolution that ended the Ed Sullivan Show, or was it a calculated move orchestrated far from the bright lights of the studio stage? In the world of entertainment history, some questions are destined to remain unanswered, at least officially. If you want I can also make you a fictional behind-the-scenes memo from the FBI files about this takedown to make the story feel even more authentic. Would you like me to create that?